Thank you once again for joining us. Now, before we delve into the news, we did promise you that we'll be bringing you a documentary on the demise of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth of England. Now, King Charles III has ascended the throne after the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Our correspondent Lois Abasambo gives us a special report on the life and times of Queen Elizabeth II of England.
Elizabeth II was Queen of the United Kingdom from 6 February 1952 until her death on 8 September 2022. Her reign of 70 years and 214 days was the longest of any British monarch and the second longest recorded of any monarch of a sovereign country. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary was born on April 21, 1922 and christened on May 29 that year in the private chapel at Buckingham Palace. She became heir apparent at age 10 in December 11, 1936, when her uncle Edward VIII abdicated and her father George VI became king. By November 1947, Elizabeth married Navy Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten, a Greek prince at London's Westminster Abbey. They had 4 children: Prince Charles III, Princess Anne, the royal princess, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, and Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex. As heir apparent, Princess Elizabeth and her husband Prince Philip set out on a tour of Africa and Asia in place of her ailing father, King George VI. In February 1952, while on tour, she received news of her father, the king's death, making her the first sovereign in more than 200 years to accede to the throne while abroad. 1 year later, in June 2, 1953, at 25 years of age, she was crowned Queen Elizabeth II at Westminster Abbey in the first televised coronation service. Queen Elizabeth II was Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and of her other realms and territories. She was also head of Commonwealth and defender of the faith per Britannica. As Queen of England, her 70 years on the throne is an unmatched reign which saw her appoint 15 British prime ministers, becoming the oldest monarch in history and the first woman to open more than one Olympic Games. She was often described as the epitome of soft power. When ascending the throne in 1952, the position she inherited was already extremely reduced in terms of actual power and authority, as a democratic government was in place, transforming the crown into a figurehead position. However, during her reign, she still performed necessary legal actions as the Crown had the power to sanction all legislation passed by Parliament in the United Kingdom. As the monarch, she brought a sense of stability to the government because prior to her ascension, there had been a period of uncertainty in the kingdom. She was also said to have modernized the monarchy in her willingness to modernize and embrace change, realizing that her subjects needed to see the royal family as approachable, and she appeared on television regularly and spoke directly to the people. She was also a COVID-19 champion as she went on televised broadcasts to rally the nation amid the COVID-19 outbreak, having also tested positive in February 2021. Queen Elizabeth II was also the first British monarch to address the U.S. Congress, considering the close history of the U.S. and the United Kingdom, as Americans were once subjects of the King of England. She used the opportunity to underscore the special relationship between the U.S. and the United Kingdom, while focusing continued cooperation and a unity of interests. Queen Elizabeth II was said to have had a special relationship with Africa, as she visited Africa a lot and even turned 21 on a visit to South Africa, and was in Kenya when her father died. As the British monarch, she undertook numerous tours of Africa. The story of Nigeria's independence cannot be told without mentioning the Queen. Nigeria's independence was pronounced by the Parliament of the United Kingdom's Nigeria Independence Act 1960. By this virtue, Nigeria was one of the realms of the Commonwealth that shared the same person as sovereign and head of state. As prescribed in the Nigeria Independence Act 1960, no British government minister could advise the sovereign on any matters pertaining to Nigeria, meaning that the monarch only took advice solely from Nigerian ministers. On the advice of the then Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, Queen Elizabeth appointed Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe as President of the Nigerian Senate and Governor General, and the latter represented Her Majesty in the Federation. The monarch, the Senate, and the House of Representatives constituted the Parliament of Nigeria, but all executives of Nigeria rested with the sovereign. All Nigerian bills required royal assent, which would be sought by the Governor General. The Queen held her sovereignty in virtue of her Nigerian crown and acted on the advice of the Nigerian government, which made her the Queen of Nigeria, and the government of Nigeria was officially known as Her Majesty's government. However, the system became so unpopular among Nigerians that all the political parties advocated for a change and agreed that the country should be a republic, and in October 1st, 1963, Queen Elizabeth ceased to be the Queen of Nigeria when the Federation of Nigeria became the Federal Republic of Nigeria. On February 6, 2022, she marked her 70th year on the throne, using the occasion to give her blessing to Charles's second wife Camilla, being called Queen Consort when he becomes king. And on September 8, 2022, Queen Elizabeth died peacefully at her Scottish estate, where she had spent much of the summer.